welcome back to Not For Nothing Homestead. Glad you're stopping in again today to see what we're up to. So what I'm up to today is I'm going to be using my steam canner again. Yes, I am. I am obsessed with this thing right now. So I am going to be using this book again. Told you about it before, how much I like this book. I like the recipes in it. I found quite a few I like. And we are going to be canning up jalapeno salsa. So I'm going to be using the jalapenos that I got on such a great deal the other day at the farmer's market. That's what I'm using. I chopped everything up yesterday in order to be able to just knock this recipe out super quick. Now, if you're not ready to take that canning step yet, but you want to make your own salsa and you want this book, this recipe is a really good recipe. I think that this salsa that is made in here, the jalapeno one, I love it. It is far superior to anything that you can buy in the store. That's just my opinion. The fresh garden vegetables that you get, you know, at the summer peak of just freshness and goodness, and you make some good salsa. So anyways, I think you would really enjoy just making this salsa and putting it in your fridge. So it will last in there about 2 weeks. Ask me how I know. Last batch I made, I put in the fridge. I intended to can it, and then we, as in actually me, ate like a whole bunch of it. It's so good. I mean, it's like just the garden. You're just eating the garden. So anyways, it's really good. So if you just want to try a recipe out of a canning book, and then, you know, you love it, and then you decide, okay, I want this on my shelf. I want that flavor in the wintertime when I can't get that, and, you know, can't get those really fresh garden summer vegetables, then you can take that next step and start canning. But anyways, so again, I chopped everything yesterday just so we could knock this out. Hopefully it'll be super quick, and it is so tasty. This recipe is one that I think nobody would regret doing. So anyways, all right, I'm going to bring you down and let's get started. Okay, so here is your easy peasy recipe to the best salsa you will ever taste. Okay, so we've got 3 cups of chopped, peeled, and cored tomatoes, jalapenos. You can leave some of the seeds and the veins in. It has a side note here that says that if you like a little heat in your salsa, and I do. So about half of the jalapenos, I left the seeds and the veins in them. So that's going to be good. But that's 3 cups of chopped jalapenos. 1 cup of chopped onions. Got that. Then we need garlic. So you need 6 cloves of garlic, and half a teaspoon of this minced equals 1 clove. So I'm going to do 3 teaspoons of this minced garlic. You need 2 tablespoons of finely chopped fresh cilantro. And then you got 1 cup of vinegar. And your dried spices are going to be 2 teaspoons of dried oregano, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and half a teaspoon of ground cumin. Now, the directions are, in a large saucepan, combine all ingredients and bring to a boil over medium-high heat, stirring constantly. Reduce heat and simmer until slightly thickened. That's it. That's it, people. That's it. So I'm going to get the burner on. There we go. Turn it down on low till I get everything in there. My tomatoes. Peppers. vinegar in. Give it a little liquid while it's heating up. Put some spices on there. Get that going. Ooh, it smells so good already. Fresh cilantro. And do my garlic. And this is it. I'm going to bring this up to a boil over medium-high heat. Wait for it to thicken a little bit. And start plopping it in jars. I mean, now, salsa is going to be, this salsa is going to be, oh man, I got my book wet. Dad, burn it. So we're looking for, once we get this all heated up, we're going to put, and thickened, we're going to look for a 1/2 inch headspace when we put it in the jars. And then we are going to be water bath canning this. Well, now it says for 10 minutes. But in the back of this book, see if I can find that real quick, there is an entire chapter, or a couple of pages, on altitude. Okay, so when you're looking at this section, it's on page 421 of altitude. It tells you, just like when you're baking in a different state and elevation, your baking times differ. Just your bread rises slower, takes longer, takes longer to, for your oven, whatever. But it says for this book, heat processing directions in this book are stated for elevations of 0 to 1,000 feet, at which water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So, altitude adjustment chart for high acid foods, which is, tomato is a high acid food, but you do have to add some acidity to it. But for my altitude, I am above 1,000 feet. So when you have to make an altitude adjustment, then you go by this chart and add, see, this says for anything from 1,001 feet to 3,000 feet, you're going to add the 5 minutes to the processing time. So just as that recipe was 10 minutes, I'm actually going to process it for 15 because I'm at an elevation of higher than 1,000 feet altitude. So let me get this coming up and doing all of its wonderful goodness, and we'll come back. Okay, actually I just stirred this up real good, and I wanted to bring you over and just show you what it looks like in the pot when you mix all of that up to begin with. So this is where you're at when you first mix all of your ingredients and put it in the pot, and you can see the vinegar down there in the very bottom. So, but once this boils and thickens for a little bit, it won't look like this anymore. So I wanted to make sure and show you what it looked like right now. Okay, I brought you over for the before. This is the after. The veggies have all sweat down and melded together, and the spices are smelling good, and it's simmered, and it's thickened up a little bit. Still a little quite juicy, but I think we're good for it's slightly thickened, which is what the directions say. So, all right, let me get my jars out, and we're gonna start canning this up. Okay, we got our bands and lids. We have our debubble tool. We have our funnel. I have this little nifty wand that grabs stuff. I love that thing. We're going to grab some jars out of the steam canner and start loading them up. I always do extra. I always clean extra jars just in case. Now, so again, we are looking for a 1/2 inch headspace. Now this is your debubbler, which also is your headspace tool. I don't know if I can get that in the camera really good, but it has measurements on each of these little steps, so you know what to lay on top of the rim to get what you need. 1/2 inches, this step right here. So that's what we're looking for. I'll get this a little closer to the pot, even though it's very hot. Looks delicious, doesn't it look so good? Oh, I'm super excited. I'm gonna have some more salsa on the shelf. So then of course you want to debubble. So just go down there, poking around, try to get all the bubbles out that you think may be lurking under something, because you don't want the bubbles. Okay, I may have overfilled this one a smidge. Yep, I did. Alright, I had to grab a spoon. So I'm just going to take a smidge out and just dump it in the next guy. And let's see. I'm going to debubble again. Move everything around. Nice and all flat up there. And got that tool on there. If you can see it, I'm on that 1/2 inch. And I am right on the money. Okay. So now, as we do, we're going to wipe our rim of our jar with, some people do it with just a wet paper towel. I do it with vinegar, because that will cut any kind of grease, any tomato sauce, anything that's on that rim that will prevent you from getting an awesome seal. All right, grab a lid. Wow, I couldn't have planned that even any better. And a band. Except for I could have planned for that to go on better. Hello. Finger tight, don't over tighten. That one is ready for the canner. Go on to the next one. So I'm going to do this, fill all of these jars just like I did that one, and hopefully I will get all 6. I did. Okay, so I'm back. I got almost 6 8-ounce jars, 1/2 pints. I was just shy. And even if, see how little I'm off? Even if you're just, I don't know if you can tell how far away I am. See, I'm on there. Let's see if I can get you down into where you can see. Let's see, I don't know if you can see that or not. But I'm just off. I'm off by like a 1/2 inch of being, I'm off like a 1/2 inch of being, having a 1/2 inch headspace. But I'm not going to can this, because headspace is uber important, and you don't want to mess with that. So if you do not have the required headspace, then you put one of those reusable refrigerator lids on it, and you put it in your refrigerator. Obviously, my feelings are not hurt, because I can grab some chips and I can have some of this. But doesn't it look delicious? Oh my goodness. It looks absolutely delicious. Okay, I'm going to get those going and process those for 15 minutes, and then I'll be all done with this project. And it was super fast. Okay, so I'm trying to get this light just right with the camera. We are in our zone, and that is what it looks like. I am this dark green zone on the very edge. So I am in that, so I can start my timer now. Okay, one more thing I wanted to tell you real quick too. when you get, just like when you're pressure canning, when you start out, if you start out on high, if you start your burner out on high to get it up to pressure as fast as you can, which most of us do that, once you are almost there, back it down a little bit, because you don't want to bury that needle and the lids bouncing up and down and up and down, and then all your steam is escaping, and you don't want fluctuation in there. You want it to be steady. So that's the whole point of it. So, and always read your manual, whether you have a steam canner, pressure canner, always read your manual so that you know what you're dealing with. You know any type of troubleshooting, you know what to look for problems. I didn't even know about the bouncing, you know, of the lid, and then it's releasing the pressure. I mean, it's common sense, but I didn't know to look for that until I read my manual. And as soon as I got my steam canner, I read it from front to back. Now, of course, it's not that big anyways, but it was like a short story. But just read the whole thing. Make sure you're familiar with it. I have 2 or 3 tabs in mine just as a go-to reference in case I think, oh, did I forget that the last time I used it, you know, 4 months ago? Which there's not been a stretch of 4 months since I got it that I haven't used it. I do love it. I really do. Okay, anyways, I'll bring you back when we're all done. Alright, our 5-minute wait time is done. So I already did the processing time of 15 minutes, and then I didn't bring you back for that. And then I turned off the burner, put 5 minutes on the timer, let it sit right there, and now I'm going to take the lid off and pull the jars out, and we'll be able to see what we've got going on here. So, get that. Alright. Oh my goodness, they look beautiful. Whoa, I almost didn't grab that one good. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to put them over here on the counter. Out of the way. Don't mess with them. Don't play with them. Just leave them. Leave them be for 12 to 24 hours. Excuse me. And then when that is over, which is good when you do it at nighttime, because then you can just let it sit till you come back the next morning. And then you take the bands off, check and make sure you got your seals, everybody's sealed, and then you can write on them, date them, and put them on your shelf. Okay, so that's gonna wrap this one up for tonight. Delicious salsa, and that is really just how easy it is. I mean, I know you know that was not hard at all. And you can have 5 jars of salsa, homemade, by your own hand. You know what you put in it. There's not all, you know, the list this long of ingredients that you don't even know how to pronounce in it. So I think it's well worth it, and I think you would really, really enjoy this salsa if you like salsa. That book, that canning book, also has a couple of different salsa recipes. So this is just the one that is my favorite. So anyways, I hope you give it a try. I hope you enjoyed today, and hope you got something out of it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys on our next video. Okay? Oh, there went a ping. I hope you heard it. So take care, and God bless.